Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivraj Jakacharya Ashtotarta Srimad Abhay Charanada Vindam Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Iskan Vibhiti Samstabhakacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Maya Jamuna Maya Ki Jai Shrimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Shrimati Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Samveda Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 89, entitled Krishna and Arjuna Retrieve the Brahmana's Sons. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vavanda Atmanam Ananta Chutyo. Vavanda Atmanam Ananta Chutyo. Jishnushchata darshana jata sadvasa. Jishnushchata darshana jata sadvasa. Tavaha bhuma paramestinang prabhur. Tavaha bhuma paramestinam prabhur. Buddhanjali sa smitam urjaya gira. Buddhanjali sa smitam urjaya gira. Favanda atmanam ananta chutyo. Jishnushchata darshana jata sadvasa. Tavaha bhuma paramestinang prabhur. Bhadanjali sa smitam urjaya gira. Favanda atmanam ananta chutto. Jishnushchata darshana jata sadvasa. Tavaha bhuma paramestinang prabhur. Bhadanjali sasmitam urjaya gira. Vavanda atmanamananta chutya. Jishnushchata darshana jata sadvasa. Tavaha bhumna paramestinang prabhur. Dadanjali sasmitam urjaya gira. Vavanda atmanamananta chutya. Jishnushchata darshana jata sadvasa. Tavaha bhuma paramestinang prabhur. Bhadanjali sasmitam urjaya gira. Ladies. Vavanda atmanamananta chutto. Jishnushchata darshana jata sadvasa. Tavaha bhuma paramestinam prabhu. Vavandatmanam ananta chutyo. Jishnushchata darshana jata sadvasa. Tavaha puma paramestinam prabhu. Ilham jani sasmita. Vavandatmanam ananta chutyo. Jishnushcha tadarsanam jata sarvasa. Tavaha bhuma paramestinang prabhu. Paranjali sasmitam urjaya gira. Uvanda paid homage. Atmanam to himself. Anantam in his boundless form. Achyutyaha infallible. Lord Krishna. Jishnu Arjun. Cha also. Tat of him. Darshana by the sight. Jata arising. Sadvasaha whose astonishment. Tau to the two of them. Aha spoke. Bhuma the Almighty Lord. Mahavishnu Paramestinam of the rulers of the universe. Prabhu the Master. Bada Anjali who had joined their palms in supplication. Sa with. Smitam a smile. Urjaya potent. Gira in a voice. Translation. Lord Krishna offered homage to himself in his boundless form, and Arjuna, astonished at the sight of Lord Mahavishnu, bowed down as well. Then, as the two of them stood before him with joined palms, the Almighty Mahavishnu, Supreme Master of all rulers of the universe, smiled and spoke to them in a voice full of solemn authority. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti makes the following observations on this verse. Just as Lord Krishna offered obeisances to his own deity during the worship of Govardhan Hill, so now also he paid homage to his Vishnu expansion for the purpose of playing out his pastimes. The Lord is Ananta, possessed of countless manifestations, and this eight-armed form is among them. He is Achyuta, never falling from his position, in the sense that he never stops engaging in his human-like pastimes as a cowherd boy of Vrindavan. Thus, to safeguard the special sanctity of his human-like pastimes as Krishna, he offered obeisances to his own plenary expansion. Lord Vishnu appeared before Krishna and Arjuna as Bhima, the supremely opulent one, and as Paramestinam, Prabhu, the Lord of multitudes of Brahmas, ruling over millions of universe. With solemn authority, he spoke in such a way as to bewilder Arjuna in obedience to Sri Krishna's intention. He smiled, hinting at his private thoughts, which Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti had revealed for our benefit. My dear Krishna, by your desire, I will describe my superiority, even though I am your expansions. At the same time, however, I will subtly imply in my statements the supreme position of your beauty, character, power, and the fact that you are the source from which I emanate. Just see how clever I am, that in front of Arjuna, I'm confidentially divulging my true identity as non-different from you. Om Ajnanam Tinmanandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshuram Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Nangayate Girim Yat Kripa Tadaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram Vandana Atmanam Ananta Chutto Jishnuscha Tadharshana Jata Sadavasaha Tavaham Bhuma Paramestinam Prabhu Bharanjali Sasmitam Urjaya Gira. So, in this pastime, the Lord is encountering, along with Arjuna, Mahavishnu. So there are various expansions of the Lord, and Krishna is the Swayam Rupa, the original form of the Lord, and he expands into Balaram. From Balaram, expansions come the first Chaturvyuha, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. And then another expansion comes from Sankarshan, a Mahasankarshan, and from Mahasankarshan expands again Vasudev, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. So from this second Chaturvyuha expansions of the Lord, we have the Purusha avatars that are expanding. And first comes Mahavishnu, who is referred to in this particular pastime of Arjuna and Krishna coming to meet him in the spiritual world, looking for the sons of the Brahman. So Mahavishnu performs the activity of expanding from him, the material universes are in the Karnadakashaya ocean, floating just like eggs on the ocean. And further, from Mahavishnu expands Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, who enters into each and every universe. And from the pores of his body, the universe fills up with the Garbhodak ocean, this water, and he lies down on bed of Anantasesh. And due to the desires of the living entities, the lotus flower protrudes from the navel of Vishnu, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and upon that lotus manifest or is born Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma then is empowered to create the universe, all the different planetary systems, and the living entities are given different forms once the material universe is again manifest. And from Garbhodakashaya Vishnu manifests Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, the Paramatma, and he enters into each and every atom, and he also enters into the hearts of all the living entities. So these are known as the Guna avatars. There's the Leela avatars. So many different expansions of the Lord. Sometimes he appears as an aquatic, like Kurma and Matsya. Sometimes as an animal, like Hayagriva, or half man, half lion, Lord Nrsimhadev. Sometimes he appears as a saintly person, like Parsuram, and like that. He appears in many different ways. But that original person from whom all the other persons emanate is Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he's the source of all the other expansions. Eche Kamsa Kalam Pumsa Krishnas Tu Bhagavan Swayam. He's the original form. And even though here in this pastime we see that the Lord is coming along with Arjuna before Mahavishnu, and he's offering his obeisances, his respects, and Arjuna is completely awestruck by Mahavishnu. Still, between the both of them, they know who's coming from who, and who is the servant. All these expansions, even Lord Balaram, who's the immediate expansion of Krishna, he feels himself the servant of Krishna. He's always looking for ways to, and when they have their pastimes in Vrindavan, he's protecting Krishna in various ways. So, Mahavishnu similarly, but in this pastimes we see the Lord Lord Krishna is very respectfully before Lord Mahavishnu. It's not different from himself. Now who can understand that? Right? He's the boss. There's no bigger boss than Krishna. But yet he's respecting this Mahavishnu, who's actually himself. Now who can understand that? Right? It's bewildering. Right? And Arjuna, just being in front of Mahavishnu, the Supreme Lord, he's completely awestruck. So this is the position of the Supreme Lord. He's adhoksaja. One is not able to understand him by his mental speculation or in any way, except when the Lord is pleased upon the devotee and he reveals himself to the devotee. Otherwise, how is it possible? The Lord is so expansive. The Lord has so many different energies. This material energy in this material world, consisting of the three modes of material nature and the gross material elements, the Panch Mahabhut, is the energy of the Lord. But it completely bewilders us. Right? The living entity comes here into the material world, and although the living entity is superfluous to this material world, becomes completely absorbed and identifies with the material world. Right? People are thinking I'm, Indian. Right? Body is Indian. Body is changing. Body dies. Still we're thinking I'm an American. I'm Indian. Isn't it? Right? I'm Pakistani. We'll fight with India. India will fight with Pakistan. All bodily concept of life. Due to the bewilderment of this Maya, Krishna's material energy. So the process of devotional service is to be reestablished in our eternal identity as eternal spirit souls. Nothing to do with this, to realize by devotional service that we're nothing to do with this material energy, that this material body is temporary. It's like a vehicle to take us from one place to another place. And according to our ability to pay, you can have different kinds of vehicles, right? If you have a lot of money, what kind of vehicle can you get? There you go, a Mercedes, right? Or a Land Rover, or a BMW, or I don't know, Lexus, Rolls Royce, there you go, Jaguar. In the same way, if we have sufficient pious credits, we can get a very powerful material body, or become very famous or very beautiful material body, right? According to the pious credits that we have. But still, whether one has a fancy, luxurious automobile or just an ordinary one, it serves the same purpose, isn't it? To get us from point A to point B. Right? In the same way, it's not that because we have so many material opulences, we're more suitable to devotional service. Not necessarily. Anyone on any level, any platform, can render devotional service. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it so easy in this age of Kali to perform devotional service. And that is that simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can get the highest benediction. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Lord Chaitanya has given us his 8 prayers called Shishastakam, And the first one is Cheto Dharpanamarjanam Bhavamaha Nirvakni Nirvapnam Shaira Karaiva Chandrika Vitranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipanam Purnamritasvaranam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. We're in this illusion. We're thinking that we're this body and that we can enjoy this material body. But by chanting the holy name of the Lord, we can become cleansed. Cheto Dharpana Marjanam. Our real identity becomes focused for us. And he gives Dharpanam, the mirror of the mind. If you look in a mirror and the mirror is dusty, it's all dirty, then you don't get a true reflection, right? Like sometimes if you go into the shower, you want to take a shave, but because the steam water's on, so the mirror is all fogged up, you can't get your job done, right? So that's the situation we're in. We're perceiving ourselves to be something that we're not in this material world. One person's thinking I'm poor, another person's thinking I'm rich, one person's thinking I'm the President of the United States. But we're actually, all of these are just upadis that have no real substance because they're bound to change, right? So the holy name helps us to break away from these upadis, these false designations that we have, right? And due to these false designations, there's so much conflict, right? One country's conflicting with another country. Armed conflicts are going on over, the most foolish of things, right? But because of that strong identification with the body, that manifests itself as nationalism, there's so much war and killing. People are getting killed. We see in this conflict with Russia and Ukraine, so many people have died, so many people have been wounded, all for some bodily concept of life. So by chanting the holy name, we can rise up out of this bodily concept of life. But even more than that, the holy name takes us further, right? It takes us all the way to understand what is our relationship with the Supreme Lord, right? That's only part of it, that we understand that we're spiritual. We're not this body. We're something that's disassociated with this material energy. That's only part of it. But the holy name is so powerful that it can take us all the way to understand what our relationship with Krishna actually is. And Krishna is desiring to experience that relationship that we have with him. He's known as Rasaraj, he's the king of all the rasas, right? All the rasas. Whether it's in the spiritual world, there's servitorship, there's friendship, there's parental affection, there's madhurya affection with Krishna. And he likes to experience all of those. There's neutrality, dasyam, servitorship. So we're situated in one of those. Every one of us has this unique relationship with Krishna. It's different from everybody else's. Just like we have fingerprints. Everybody's fingerprint is different, right? So the FBI finds out who you are by your fingerprints, right? When you get arrested, the first thing they do is fingerprint you, and they put it in the file. So if they ever come in contact with you again, they know who you are and what you did, right? So in the same way, we have this unique, loving relationship with Krishna, and that's only between him and me, between you and him. And he wants to experience that unique relationship that he has with you, right? The living entities, they're so busy in their conflicts, they just create problems for Krishna, right? And one person, Prabhupada said, is praying to Krishna, help me break into this house and steal the goods inside there. And the other person, that householder, is praying, to Krishna, please protect my house and all my goods. So they giving Krishna all these conflicting, prayers. And Krishna's reciprocating with everyone. Right? Can you imagine how, the Russian government is saying, help me win the war, and the Ukrainians are saying, help me win the war? Isn't it? It seems, how can for us, if we get just like if somebody has a business, right? They get so absorbed in their business, they don't have time for their kids, they don't have time for their wife, they don't have time to eat even sometimes, because they're fully absorbed in their business, right? But Krishna's not like that. All these conflicting things are coming at him, but he remains very cool-headed. He never forgets to enjoy with his cowherd boyfriends. He goes out in the field and takes care of the cows, plays his flute, right? He always has time to dance with the gopis, even though so many things are going on, not only in this universe, but in so many universes. Therefore, he's known as Adhokshaja. You can't understand him unless he reveals himself to us. If he reveals by his mercy, then we can understand. On our own effort, it's very difficult to understand Krishna. Just like in this pastime. Here he is, the source, not only of Mahavishnu, but all the avatars. Right? But yet, he's offering his folded hands in supplication. Who can understand? The Supreme Lord is so amazing and so wonderful. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Lord Shri Krishna in this golden form. And he came specifically to make it easy for everyone to surrender to Krishna and understand Krishna. Therefore, he started this Sankirtan movement, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, to help us get over our attachments to this material world, which are very, very strong. Right? For so many lifetimes, we've been trying to enjoy in so many different forms in this material world. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his mercy, he came specifically to help us, to help the Kali Yuga living entities. We see that in the example of all the great devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. He was thinking about all the fools and rascals, how can they be uplifted? So the devotees, the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're like that. Right? They're not satisfied just to be liberated on their own. Right? They want to see that all people get that opportunity, to get that chance, to come out of ignorance, to come out of the mode of passion and ignorance, realize their eternal identity as spirit soul, the servant of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada, he requested us to take to this Krishna consciousness movement, try to understand this philosophy, apply it in our lives, and spread it to others. Right? If we do that, then we have a very good chance of obtaining the mercy of Krishna. Of course, Krishna is independent. He can give his mercy or not give his mercy. He's not under our control, right? But there's a very good chance that he'll give us his mercy, and that even in this very lifetime, we can develop our consciousness in such a way that we have attachment for the holy name, attachment for the form of the Lord, attachment for the Lord's pastimes, attachment for the Lord's service, right? And whatever that may be. And not have to return to this miserable material world. I came from Bombay. It was about, 85, 87 degrees or something. I came here, it was 47 degrees. Went to the shop to buy some fruit for our deities. And on the way I was thinking, it's really cold, even though I had this jacket on. Right? So that's the nature of this material world. There's always some kind of disturbance. It's either too cold or too hot. It's not a nice place. It's a miserable place, right? But we're so fooled, we're thinking that, if I just have this adjustment or I just have this arrangement, then I'll be happy. But it never happens. We just work and waste our time. And boom, take another birth in the material world. Prabhupada has given us opportunity to end this cycle of birth and death, establish our eternal relationship with Krishna, and at the end of this life, go back home, back to the spiritual world. And at that point, we'll be able to actually understand these pastimes of Krishna in this Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions? Comments? Realizations? Rectifications?
Hare Krishna. Just the point of becoming attached in this lifetime, whether it's to the pastimes or to the holy name. It seems that attachment comes with understanding. There has to be understanding. So it doesn't seem possible that one can be removed from those activities and become attached. There has to be sort of an engagement of one's cognitive capacity to be able to become emotionally attached. So I'm just bringing that up. I was thinking about it.
Well, yeah, there has to be. Our nature is to do something, like you said. We feel to do something and to be with someone, isn't it? So now, when we engage that propensity to do something for Krishna, and if we're actually doing it for Krishna, we'll think of Krishna, and then that raga or that attachment will come by doing that activity on a regular basis, an uninterrupted basis, whatever our propensity is. Someone may have a propensity to paint, and they paint Krishna's pastimes, and that way they're absorbed in Krishna. Someone may have a propensity to cook, and they cook for Krishna, and they think of Krishna. And by doing that on a regular basis, one develops attachment for Krishna. So you're right. We have to use all our cognitive faculties to understand Krishna as much as we can. And Prabhupada's explained it so nicely that people that are in part of this Kali Yuga, that they can understand, right? And that's the uniqueness. One of my godbrothers, he actually went over to another Gaudiya Mutt camp, and he came to me one day, and he said, I want to be able to get Srila Prabhupada's books. And in that Gaudiya Mutt camp, I said, well, they have their own books. You don't distribute those? He said, yeah, I distribute them, but Prabhupada's books are so unique because somebody that is right off the street, if they read Prabhupada's books, they can get it very quickly, right? And that's the uniqueness about Srila Prabhupada's, what he's given us in terms of his preaching, which is in the form of his books, that yes, our intellectual requirement to understand things intellectually is fed by Srila Prabhupada's books, and it puts us right in touch with what we need to know to make further advancement, to go to the next step. Is that okay? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I was mentioning that everybody is different. Every peoples are different, fingerprints and all that. So I was just thinking that how the car manufacturers, they make the car, and then each car has got a serial number, and then a batch number, and the date of manufacturing, right? So then you can locate where the car is. Similarly, the God's creation, Krishna's creation, we all have a different fingerprints, different voice, different face, and different manufacture date. I mean, it's so wonderful that how He has created, so He can locate us, each and every one of us, where we are.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Nanda Maharaj had 900,000 cows. No lack guy. But Krishna knew each and every cow's name. He used to call them, "Hey, Bhumi," when he was in the pasturing grounds, when it was time to go home, he would call each and every one. So it's not like Krishna doesn't know us. He knows us better than we know ourselves. He gives us knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. And part of that remembrance thing is that Krishna, He knows our material desires better than we know our material desires. In fact, He has to remind us what are our material desires. Right? He knows us so well. He says, remember, you wanted to enjoy like this? And He, Anumanta, Upadrasra Anumanta, He permits it, He allows it. Okay, He offers. Right? So He's already interacting with us. Although we're totally ignoring Him. We're just, picking the fruits of the tree and trying to enjoy them. So devotional service means that we turn to Him for all our requirements. And when we do that, then He's always interested, but He takes a special interest. Just like in a family, there are children, but the parents are more attentive to the small children because why? They're completely dependent on the parents for everything, to eat, to sleep, everything they're dependent. So they get more attention. The surrendered devotee who's completely dependent on Krishna for everything, Krishna reciprocates more. So devotional service means how to become dependent on Krishna, how to rely on Krishna for all what we need to do. And what we need to do is get out of this material world and get back home, back to Godhead. And the quickest way to do that is try to help other people do that, just as we see in the life of Srila Prabhupada. He left Vrindavan. He had his room in Radha Damodar. You know how much it cost? 5 rupees a month. Right? Could easily make the payments. He had 2 rooms. He had a veranda. He had a good relationship with the Goswami owners. And in the deal, he had 1 plate of Radha Damodar's Mahaprasadam Rajbhog every day. He was set right in front of Rupa Goswami Samadhi, chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. But he left it. He left it. He got on a boat. He came to America, freezing cold place. Right? Why? Just to deliver us. How kind He is. And how much mercy we've already gotten. Just think about it. So much mercy we've already gotten. But Srila Prabhupada's ready to give us more mercy. We just have to deserve it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavad. Bhima, Prabhu. Yeah, you have many years of experience of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And you give a lot of inspiration by emphasizing on chanting the holy name and different incarnation of Lord, how Krishna is the source of all incarnation. So, generally we accept our mind as Guru and present a lot of distractions are there, especially after pandemic, Zoom and so and so. Sadhu Guru Shastra we have to follow. But we need an association also, an example also to chant the holy name of the Lord. Because like it says, nobody's one's friend, nobody's enemy, it's only the behavior, how one is.
What was that?
Nobody is one's friend, nobody is one's enemy. It's just the behavior, how he behaves.
Right.
So, as like Yudhishthira Maharaj saw in Kali Yuga, all the bad signs, symptoms of Kali Yuga. So, as time progresses, as per your experience also, in our movement also like that. So, we accept our mind is so much disturbed to fix on Krishna. So, how you can just elaborate on this? Thank you.
Krishna says, always think of me. Man mana. Engage your mind in thinking of me. But like you said, our mind is really chanchala. It's all over the place. So we need some practical engagement of the senses. When we have real senses, they require engagement. So when we engage the senses in the service of Krishna and some practical activities, then the mind becomes more easily able to think of Krishna, because those relationships are in relationship with Krishna. So that's one thing. Just to sit in one place and try to think of Krishna at this stage, it's not so much possible for us to do. We require engagements. So therefore, we have this temples that Srila Prabhupada has given us, and there are so many activities to do within the temple. Cleaning the temple, maintaining the temple, making garlands for the deities, cooking for the deities. All these activities are there so that we can engage our senses and especially our mind in the service of Krishna, and that way think of Krishna. And if we're actually doing it for Krishna, then we will think of Krishna. Even if you're changing the carburetor on the car, but if it's Krishna's car and you're thinking how to do that nicely, then you'll think of Krishna. Just like a man, Prabhupada says, he goes to the factory, But the reason why he's going to the factory is because he loves his family, and the family requires things. And so therefore, when he's at the factory, although he's doing so many things in the factory, he's actually thinking of his family, for whom he is doing all those things. In the same way, if we do whatever we do for the pleasure of Krishna, then we'll think of Krishna. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Welcome back to Chicago. I've heard different explanations about some people say that, we were in the spiritual world and we fell down from the spiritual world.
Yeah.
And some people say that we were never in the spiritual world because once we have love of Krishna, we can never fall down. So, what is your understanding about this? And also, I understand.
Well, my understanding is what Prabhupada said. He said, don't worry about it. If you have fallen off the boat and you're drowning in the ocean and somebody throws you a life preserver, right? Now, you can grab that life preserver and save yourself. Or should you anticipate or wonder, how did I fall off that boat? Did I slip on a banana peel? Was I on the main deck or was I in the lower deck? Where was I exactly in that boat? You're not going to do that. What you're going to do is grab hold of the life preserver and pull yourself out, isn't it? So that's our position. We need to grab hold of the process that Srila Prabhupada has given us and pull ourselves out of this material world. Now, we can't do that on our own. We require the mercy of Krishna, ultimately. We can make some progress on our own effort, but we need to make the mercy of Krishna, that prime thing that we're looking for. So this philosophical disagreement between devotees, whether we fell, whether we didn't fell, I mean, there's statements of Srila Prabhupada, and you can get caught up in that pretty easily. But I see it as just a diversion in the sense that the real thing is catch up the lotus feet of Krishna, beg for his mercy so that we can, actually make the best use of this human form of life that we've got. That's the way I see it. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Srila Prabhupada ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. So if you will all come here, I have some Radha Shyam Sundar Prasad for you.